Hello everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the Minecraft Emporium. I am currently standing on top of a compact beacon laser door. Over in the distance is a machine that repairs your armor, but then kills you as a price. And over here is Gilbert the villager, who joins a redstone contraption, which scams you out of stacks upon stacks of emeralds. Because yes, ladies and gents, this is episode 5, I believe, of Comments to Contraptions, the show where I build your weird, wacky, whimsical, and wild redstone ideas from down in the comments section and turn them into Minecraft redstone contraptions. Today's episode is actually Discord edition, meaning I'm taking suggestions from my Discord server, link of course in the description. Before we get into all of the wild and weird and crazy things that I've planned for today's video, it's always important to remember that we are really close to 175 subscribers. And so if you're interested in redstone contraptions taken through a unique lens, you could say, on the internet, please do consider subscribing, smashing that like button, and leaving, as I mentioned, your redstone ideas down in the comments section down below. I really want to start with Gilbert over here, who is of course a scammer. I'll put the comment from our Discord server on screen, but they recommended I to build a working villager trader. And while I could easily have replicated, the actual villager trades and made a complex mechanism to imitate the price fluctuations, I decided to scam us. And so by standing on this bar over here, we can now look up to our overlord Gilbert over here and toss numerous different stacks of emeralds onto that block over there. These will be weighing down on a pressure plate, and once the signal strength is tall enough, specifically 5 stacks of redstone blocks, we will then, at that point, be able to have all of those items being sucked up. Whoops, I accidentally missed the pressure plate. Let me get those items right back. And as soon as we stand on that pressure plate with enough items on top of that pressure plate, we can of course begin to see those items being sucked up from beneath the floor, and 2, not 1 pieces of dirt being dispensed into our inventory. If that isn't imitating how much villagers scam us, I don't know exactly what does. So basically we have a subtracting pulse extender measuring a certain signal strength from these hoppers, which then turns off this torch whenever there are 5 stacks of emerald blocks on that pressure plate, which then goes and deactivates the minecart with a hopper. And once those minecart with a hopper start collecting the items up top there, they are then dropped into this chest over here, where the villager can store them and do whatever on earth villagers do with those items. Next up, we have the laser door. Again, I'll put up the pictures that were actually sent into the Discord, and this isn't really a suggestion, more as a build it inside of the world. Now, this is of course a laser door, and it works on a very interesting principle. Whenever the beacon beams are red, you cannot pass through the gap. However, as soon as all of the beacon beams are green, you can then easily pass straight through, as you can clearly see. And so it's really interesting is that you cannot pass through it. I think it's a really cool concept. Now there's one, I'm not sure if it was a flaw, but on the viewer's comment down in the Discord, they mentioned, I think that they built it on Java Edition, and over there, if I understand correctly, beacons change colors instantaneously. Again, I could be wrong on that, so I have to add an enormous amount of delay such that even when the beacons are in this transition period with this randomized state of some going red, I can still pass through it. So we have to have a little bit of delay there in order to actually make it so that it's all red being blocked and all green being perfectly green. So it's a little bit flawed, but then again, adding those repeaters there just make it so that things are a little bit more fluid. Hopefully that makes sense. So again, not the greatest design, but personally, I think it's just a really nifty little contraption. Again, some redstone torches powering the fences and a block swapper moving red and green glass over to the sides. Next, we have another one of my favorite builds, and that is, of course, the Mending Destroyer. And the reason why I call it Mending Destroyer is because of what you will begin to see. We have this barrel over here. You can ignore it for now, but if I was to hold these elytra in my inventory, we can now enter into this build. Now, it is a very confined space. Again, whoops, I didn't make it through the door. And as soon as we hold the elytra in here and press this lever here, we can begin to see that we are getting splashed with experience. We can, of course, mend our elytra all the way to the fullest degree, but now, how do we escape this mending contraption? Well, we would have to hit this button right here. And what is interesting is that as soon as the door opens, we are then killed by redstone potions. For example, even if I wanted to escape and hold forward, I simply couldn't, because as soon as the door opens, I'm instantaneously killed. And as I mentioned, that barrel, where on earth am I? Oh my gosh, I am all the way away from those redstone builds. I have to get there really quick. You will begin to see that all of those items that I dropped inside of the main chamber will begin flowing inside of the barrel here. Sometimes they escape outside, but that's kind of the fun of it, right? You tell your friend that they have a mending station, and then when they come back, all of their items are either inside of this barrel or launched outside the door. Again, if the items aren't launched outside the door, they'd be picked up by this hopper minecart here and transferred over into this barrel and moved up. There's nothing really more to say other than the fact that we have an observer clock here powering some dispensers full of bottle of enchanting, and then some repeaters of delay to start firing harming potions before the door opens. Because if the door opens and then we get potion spammed, then the player can still escape. But if the potions come first and the door comes afterwards, we ensure that the player dies at the exact moment the door opens. It's a very fun little mechanism, and personally I think it's absolutely fantastic. As you can probably see in front of me, each of these different builds went through numerous design iterations. So if you could consider subscribing for the half hour that it took to design each and every one of these things up to the fullest degree, that would truly be fantastic. In any case, thank you so much for watching, and take care.